Hello everybody, welcome to Shogi Ramen TV. いらっしゃいませ. Let's enjoy Shogi with me. Today, I will introduce the basic edge attack to the Mino castle. This is, I think, famous or maybe you know, but it's a very good practice to learn. Let's start. So, against the Mino, there are many techniques to attack, so today I will introduce mainly about the edge attack. So, and when you can attack, so it depends on which materials you have. So mainly, if you have the knight, and the pawn, then you have a chance to attack the edge attack. So for example, in this case, you have knight and 3 pawns. You have a good chance to attack. How to do? So the first is pushing the edge pawn, taking by opponent, and you have 3 pawns, so you can drop the from here. Take by knight and drop pawn, and take by knight and drop pawn, and dropping the knight. This knight attack is very simple to take the knight, but it is difficult to protect this position. So if the opponent try to protect by king, you can take knight and take by king. So this king is already very dangerous because out of the castles, and you can continue attack dropping the lance like this. So this knight is very strong. But if the opponent have a silver, the opponent can protect the dropping silver like this. So in this case, this attack doesn't so successful. So you need to take care that when you will start to attack to Mino castle, because of the it depends on the opponent's materials. And if opponent doesn't have a silver, in this case this attack is very useful. So the opponent will choose another way. So for example, dropping the pawn instead of taking this pawn. In this case, you can take the pawn, and the opponent will protect by pawn. This is a good defense against the edge attack. It is difficult to continue attack from edge line, but this pawn will block the opponent's king's escape route. So this king is very narrow. He cannot escape from the edge line. So you can focus on the attack from the left side. This case you have 1 knight and 2 pawns. The basic attack is very similar. From the pushing pawn, take by opponent, but dropping the pawn position will be changed. So from this pawn, so you can, if you drop from here, you need to 1 more pawn, but if you have only 2 pawns, this pawn is good. If the opponent didn't take this pawn, you can take this pawn by lance, and you can attack from the edge. So opponent will take this pawn and dropping pawn and dropping knight. This style is same, and this dropping knight looks good to attack for the edge attack, Sometimes it works well, but in this situation, pawn is here. Opponent can escape his knight, his runs to here. So at this case, it is difficult to continue the attack. You can drop just pawn. It is not so strong. So let's run if the pawn is here case, dropping the knight this position is very good. In case you have only one knight and one pawn, but the attack will be very similar. From the edge line, pushing the pawn, take, and dropping pawn position will be this position. So if you have 3 pawns, you can drop from here, but if you have only one pawn, this position is good. If the opponent didn't take these runs, you can take this pawn, and you can push a pressure from the edge line. And if take the by runs, you can drop the knight. So this is very simple, but very important. And let's run. It's according to the how many pieces, how many pawns you have. So how to attack will change according to the number of the pieces. This is the case if you have only one knight. So I will show the interesting way. And just dropping the knight, and the opponent do something, and you can jump by knight. If the situation is very urgent, this attack will be good. Take by knight, lance, pushing the pawn, take by lance, take lance, and the opponent will try to protect and dropping double runs. This attack is very strong. If opponent have only one knight, it is difficult to protect the edge line. So some situations, this kind of the attack is very good, and you need to take care that you can give the knight to the opponent or not. This is the case if you have silver and pawn, and there is a way to attack the edge. Pushing pawn, take by pawn, and dropping the pawn, take by lance, and dropping the silver here. This is the one way to attack to edge, and dropping the knight is more strong because next you can check, but sometimes this dropping silver works well. And it is difficult to protect if opponent doesn't have the materials. So opponent try to protect by king. You can take the lance and dropping the double lance. And opponent try to protect. So opponent can success to protect here, but the king position is already in danger. So you can attack from the another way and taking materials, and you can try to checkmate. This is the case if you have the silver in addition to the knight. So if you drop the knight here, and if the opponent have a silver case, in this case it is difficult to continue attack. You can take lance, but take by silver, and the edge attack will finish. But in this situation, there is a good way to attack. So dropping the silver at first. You can take the lance next, but the opponent had one silver, so opponent can protect like this. But next you can drop the knight here. So at this moment opponent cannot protect anymore, and opponent cannot drop the silver here. So this attack will be the interesting case if the opponent has a silver and you also have a silver case. Introduce the case about the combination of the edge attack and the left side attack by the rook. So in this situation, you have the silver and the 2 pawns. Of course, you can attack from the edge, just edge, pushing pawn and dropping silver here. But there is another good way to dropping the pawn. If the opponent take this pawn by gold, it is easy to attack using silver like this. But of course, opponent don't take this pawn and escape by this gold move here. It looks difficult to continue attack, but there is a good way by using the edge attack, pushing the pawn and dropping the pawn here. Take by lance and you can drop the silver here. It is very interesting technique, and opponent need to take by king, and you can take the gold, and opponent have to drop the silver here, and you can take the silver, so you can take the one more gold. So this is a very good way to succeed to break the Mino castle. Castle changed to the Anaguma. This is another case of the edge attack. So sometimes this kind of the hikikaku style, and silver is here. In this situation, there is a way to attack to edge like this, and if opponent do something, and you can attack like this. It is very similar to the bogging in the Ibisha case, and this attacks is sometimes also a good way to attack to the Mino castle like this. Opponent try to protect like this, and you can use the bishop and continue attack. So edge line is the weak point of the Mino castle, so if you have a chance, let's try to attack to the edge. Thank you for watching about edge attack of the Mino castles. I introduced the basics attacks from the edge attacks. So in the real game, there are many kind of the situation. Let's try to run, and let's consider which materials you have, and you can attack how to do. Thank you. See you next ramen. Bye bye.